Do you want to get insights by conducting surveys inside or outside your organization and be able to create quizzes, tests, and assessments? I'm the productivity coach, and today I show you how. Hi, I'm Stuart Ridout, the Productivity Coach, and I'm a modern work customer success manager at Microsoft. And today I want to talk to you all about Microsoft Forms. Now, this is part of your Office 365 subscription, but it is an often overlooked and incredibly powerful tool which can do great things for you. Now, I sometimes talk to customers who go off to other form providers and say that they're spending quite a lot of money with other form responses. And when they find out that they can do all of that through Microsoft Forms, they're incredibly grateful and want to know more. So I wanted to show you today some of the tips and tricks that you can use with Microsoft Forms. Now, forms aren't just for collecting survey data, although it is a great tool to do that. You can also run quizzes and tests and assessments, as I said. It can be embedded into Teams meetings, but you can also attach it into stream videos at certain points. So you might run a video and then have a little assessment to ask a question. So let's dive in and show you how it all works. So here I am in my Office 365 tenant, and I'm going to go down here to all apps. So if you've not run Microsoft Forms before, it will be here, and here it is. I can click on Forms. Now up here is how we can start our forms. So if you've already got forms, then they will be shown here. But here you can create a form, or if I click on that drop down, you have got the choice to also do a new quiz, and we'll come back to quizzes in a little moment. So, but today I'm just going to start off with a new form. Okay, and let's say that we're going to do this as a staff survey. Okay, and let's say, please provide us with your views on how we're doing. Okay, so I'm going to start off with a new question. So, and that's going to be a choice. So, what department are you in? Okay, and I can say here that I'm in manufacturing, I'm in sales, and I can add other options. And you can see here that what Forms has done is it's seen that I've already written manufacturing and sales, and it said, here are some other suggestions of things that you could do. So I could say IT or HR, or let's just add one more and we'll say management. There we go. Okay, so we've got our first question there. Now, when I clicked off, it showed me what it looks like, but there's actually a few options that you can do here. So we can say multiple answers. So that allows us to allow people to collect multiple answers rather than just select one. I could make it a required question, in which case you must provide an answer. But I've also got some choice on how it's displayed. So here it's displayed as a series of radio buttons, but I could, if I just click on the ellipses here, I could change that to be shown as a drop down. So if I now click off, you can see here that it's shown as a drop down. And at any point I can click preview up here and see what that looks like. So if I click back here, okay, I've got also the option to do things like shuffle the options. So if I don't want them to appear in the same order every time, they can do that. I've also got the option to add a subtitle. So let's say if you work across multiple departments, select your main one. There we go. So we could have a subtitle in there just to clarify what that question is. Now, one of the other options that we had in here was also branching. So branching means that you can go off into different directions depending on how that answer is. So let's say that we were going to go off and go and do some branching based on if you were in IT. So I'm going to add a new question here, and this is only going to be for IT staff. So I'm going to make this a rating question, let's say. So I might say, please rate the IT provision in your team. Okay, and I can give that a rating of up to 5 stars. I can choose how many levels I've got, up to 10 stars. And it doesn't have to be a star, it could just be a number as well. So we could put it on that sliding scale. But let's stick with the stars and we'll go back to 5. Okay. And I'm going to add another question here. So let's say, when was your last review with your manager? Okay, and here we've got that as a date question as well. So we don't necessarily need to have a subtitle on those, but if we don't put it in, then it just doesn't get shown. Okay, and let's have a text question. So how can your manager support you better in one-to-ones? Okay, and this is a text question. Now, we can leave it like this, in which case it just kind of indicates one line, or if I tick the flag for a long answer, then it actually just gives us a slightly larger text box that we can put that in. Okay, so those are the main questions we've got there. There are other ones here, so we've got things like ranking, we've got the Likert scale one, we've got a file upload or net promotion score questions, or you can actually group questions together into a section. So lots and lots of different options there. Now, I did say that we were going to do branching. So if I answered as IT, then I want to go to question 2. If I don't answer as IT, I want to go straight to question 3. So here I'm going to go back to question 1, and on the dot there, I'm going to go to add branching, and you can see here now all of those options have now got destinations next to them. So if it's manufacturing, I actually want to go to question 3, sales, question 3. But if it's IT, I want to go to question 2, HR, question 3, and management, question 3. Okay, so that's now that. So if I hit back now, we can see here there's a branching symbol to that. So that indicates to us as the form owner that the form has branching in it. So it just helps us to understand that we need to make sure that we change those accordingly. So now if I go into preview mode, you can see it's only showing me that first question. So it says, what department are you in? And if I select manufacturing, then it just takes me to the next set of questions. When was the last review with your manager? And you can see there that it's actually renumbered that as answer number 2, even though we know that it's answer number 3. If I change that and say IT, then we can see that it's actually inserted that question there for us as well. So we could go through, say when our last manager one-to-one was. There we go, and discuss my career options. There we go, and submit that. So that preview allows us to go through and just see what that's like, and you can actually see that those responses have come up. On the preview, we can also have a look and see what that looks like in computer view, or if you are on the mobile phone. So Microsoft forms are responsive in nature, so they're great to be shown on a mobile device as well. So you can switch between those there. Now, while we're just talking about styling for those forms, there are lots of different ways that you can do that. So if we go up to this theme option here, you can see there are lots of different themes that we could do. So let's say that we wanted to pick this one here. It's a very corporate Teamsy type one there. Or if I go down a bit, then we can just have plain colors. Or we've got cartoony ones, slightly different. Some of them might be working better in different scenarios. Or if I click on that plus, then I can actually customize that theme. So I could pick a color. So I would have to know what the hex reference of that color is. So if I said CO, that'll give us that gray type color. There we go. And then we can include an image. So we could search for an image if we've got one in our OneDrive, or we can upload it from our computer. So let's just say, let's just search for team building. Okay, there we go. So lots of different options there. So let's just go with this one here. And what's great about using these images that come through the searches here is that Microsoft Forms shows you Creative Commons ones. So these are ones that you have the legal right to be able to reuse. So, so yes, I've selected that, and I'm going to add that into my form. There we go, and it'll just take a moment to put the form theme together for me. There we go, and if we just preview that, that's what it looks like on computer. There we go. So nice. The background stays static when you scroll up and down, so it's not too distracting. Or if it's a mobile, we don't tend to see that background there. Okay, let me just go back. I'm going to just pick one of the themes that we've already got there. We have there. Okay, so I did mention that we've also got sections in there. So if I go add new, and I'm going to click on the drop down there, then there is this section option. Okay, so let's say that this section was all about pay and conditions. Okay, and what we can do here as well, you'll notice, is that there is a picture symbol next to that. So we can insert images to help us to illustrate what that's all about. So again, if I click for that, let's just go with a search, and we're going to search for money. This is about pay and conditions. There we go. And let's just pick that one there. Now, when that is displayed, that's displayed next to it there. We'll just let that carry on. And if I just preview that, oops, there we go. These are required questions. So let me just go through and do that. So you can see that that's how it's displayed, is having the title and the image next to that. So depending on how much room you wanted to take up, you can decide whether you use that or not. So I'm going to go back and I'm actually going to get rid of that image. So I can do that just by using delete on there. There we go. So that's gone. So what I want to do now is have some kind of rating scale that my person can answer with. So I'm going to click down on here and I'm going to go on this ranking. So I might say, what is the most important aspect of your pay and conditions? Okay, and I could say flexibility, competitive salary, okay, quality of IT equipment, and let's just say benefits. There we go. And if I hit to preview that, okay, and go through here and answer these, then you can see here that what we've got is something that we can drag up and down, or we can use those arrows to move those up and down there. So it's nice to have a different variety of question types, just so that it mixes it up to people so they don't feel the drudge of answering the same thing all the time. And the same with sections. So if you use these sections, it splits it up into pages so that the form doesn't seem quite so big to work through. So as I say, loads and loads of different ones there. So we could use this Likert one. So we could say, how would you rate these aspects of our provision? Okay, and we could say competitive salary, okay, benefits, holiday, and working hours. There we go. And so then we can say very poor. And actually what it said here is it's given me suggestions. So I could say below average. Oops, let's go back there. Let's put below average in there. There we go. Let's get rid of that option. There we go. Average, above average, and excellent. There we go. So we've actually got 4 options there. So it means that people have to make a decision where they're going to go. And again, if we go through and preview that, let's just go through and turn these off from being required so we can just scooch through this really quickly. There we go. So let's go through into preview mode. So pick a department. There we go. So now we can see that we've got this ranking question where we're dragging it up and down, but we've also got this one here where I could say actually competitive salary is excellent, benefits above average, holiday is below average, working hours are average, etc. So you can see here that we're building up a really powerful form here just by using some of these things here. Okay, so we've also got this file upload option. Okay, and then let's get rid of that because that's not going to work for us right here. And I'm going to just the last one here is this net promoter score. So this is a pre-formatted type of question for us there. So now I think that's our form kind of completed. There we go. And we can go through and we would be able to submit that. Okay, so now comes the time where we want to share our form out to other people. So if I click up on this share option here, then we've got different options for what we have. So we can say only people in my organization respond. So it requires us to log in, or specific people in my organization can respond. Now you can see here, this one that says anyone can respond is actually grayed out. And that's because the file upload question here has been the file upload question, stops it from being used externally. So you can only include that on an internal one. So I'm going to get rid of that one. There we go. And now we can see on our share options, we can say anyone can respond. Only people in my organization can respond. So they need to log in to be able to authenticate that, or only specific people in my organization can respond. Okay. And then we've got different options for sharing that. So whether they're shared with a link, we can do a QR code so that we can just put it onto a document so that people can scan that with a camera. We can embed it into another page or somewhere else with this iframe, or it will actually give us a pre-formatted email which has just popped up in another window. So let's just go back to that link there. So here we've said who can respond, but we've actually got some more options around how that works. So if I click on the ... and go onto the settings option, then we've actually got a little bit more detail around that. So who can fill out this form? So anyone can respond, only people in my organization can respond, but now we've got some choices over what information we store. So do we record their name? If we can actually say, we can get people to authenticate to make sure that they are actually from my organization, but still not record their name. And what we can also do is allow them to only respond once. And again, here we've got the same options here. If we just pick specific people in the organization, we can not record their name, but just make sure that we only record one response per person. So let's go back from that. And then down here, we can say whether we're accepting responses. So that means that allows us to open and close a form. We can set a start date and an end date. So we could say, actually, if this was a staff survey, you've only got till Friday the 12th of February to be able to collect information. We can show a progress bar. So we saw there that were multiple sections. So if we wanted to give people an indication how far through, we've got that option. And then we can customize that thank you message. So currently it just says your response was submitted, but we could write something different there if we wanted to. Then we can got things that are notifications, whether we if we get notified by email when something happens, and allows that receipt of responses after submission. So that person gets an email just to say, thank you for responding. This is what you've done here. So we've got loads of things there. So now we can go back to our share and I can copy that and send that out to other people to do. And as the responses come in, you can see here that they are shown here. So it's this responses to. So if I click on this, then it will give me some information about that. So we can see that out of the responses so far, we've got one person from manufacturing, one person from sales. So it aggregates those responses for us and gives us a nice visual. Now, if we wanted to actually do a little bit more delving into that, then we could just click open in Excel, and that will download that into an Excel file. So then we can slice and dice that, do whatever we want with the raw data. So if I just open that up in Excel, then that will give us all of that, all of the answers in that format. So if I that's just opening up in Excel, and we'll be able to drag that across. So you can see here, it's a really powerful tool to be able to do that. There we go. Perfect. So you can see what time it was started, what time it was completed, who the person was, what their name was, and what their answers were. Now, this was early on, so we haven't got a complete answer set there. So you can see here really quickly that you can set up a really powerful survey that can either be used internally or externally with just a few options. Now, I did say that you can also do quizzes as well. So let's have a look and see what a quiz looks like. So I'm going to jump back to forms here. And instead of doing a new form, I'm actually going to do a new quiz. So this could be just a fun quiz, or it could be an assessment. So let's say that we were having a Microsoft Teams assessment. So we've run some kind of training and we want to assess how well people were listening. So I'm going to go add new. Okay, and we're going to, most of our quiz is going to be around choices. Okay, so which of these is not a term in Teams? Okay, so we're going to say a team, a channel, a distribution, and we will have a tab. There you go. And we'll see what's the one that is not a term that we use in connection with Teams. So here are our options. And then here down the side, we can pick whether we get rid of that. We can select, so you know sometimes where you have a quiz and as soon as you click the answer it gives you a response, you can do that. But crucially we need to mark which is the correct answer. And then we can say how many points that person gets. So if they get that one right, they get 5 points. So let's add another one. Okay, what color options are available in Teams? Okay, so we've got dark mode, light mode, high contrast, green, and blue options. So there you go. So we've got dark mode, light mode, and high contrast. Now you can see that I can only pick one. So we've got multiple answers here. So here now we can mark multiple correct answers here. And again, we're going to give 5 points for that. So we're going to leave that as is. Let's just look at that preview there. So we can say which one is not a term in Teams. So I'm going to say distribution. And I'm going to say dark mode, light mode, and high contrast. So submit that. It gives me that message to say your response was submitted. So you can tweak that, as I say. And then I can view results and I can see that I got 10 points. And it shows me all of my correct answers, etc. through that. Now again, as we've got here, we've got settings. So we can say whether people see those results or whether it's a quiz that they do that they don't get the answers for. We can set dates for when it starts and finishes. And obviously, crucially, we want to make sure that only one person sends one response in so that they don't keep trying that test over and over again. And similarly as we had there, we can do things like shuffle answers and things like that there, so that when we look at it, we can see here that it gets mixed up every time that we run it. Okay, so I mentioned that it was a really powerful tool and that we could create surveys for internal and external use, but we could also run quizzes and assessments on that. But I also said that one of the things that we could do is actually attach a Microsoft Forms form to a video. So let's have a look at what that looks like. So I've got that Microsoft Teams assessment one there, and that is saved. Now I'm going to grab the address for that there. Okay, and I'm going to pop across into Stream. So I've already got a video which I've uploaded into Stream, which is around how you can put forms into your Microsoft Teams meetings. So I'm going to go here to my content and I'm going to go to videos. And here we've got this video on forms, polls in meetings. So let me just click to open that up. There we go. And you can see here that we've got the transcript of my video here. Do you want to get ins? Let's just get him to be quiet. There we go. But we've got this other tab here which says interactivity. So here I can add a form in. Okay. So I click add form. I'm going to paste that URL in there. That was the one that I copied earlier. And name your form. So I'm going to say Teams assessment. And actually, it's going to be at what point on the timeline. So let's just, to make it quick for us to pop here, we'll do it at 7 seconds. We'll add that into the timeline. Now, if we just mute that video, let's go back to the start and let's play that. Then when it gets through till 7 seconds, the video will actually stop and it will present us with the form at that point. There we go. Now I've already submitted that form previously, so this only allows one view per person. So let's just pop back onto that. Let's go to those settings and allow multiple responses. There we go. So that will allow us, let's just try that again. We'll just refresh the video and do this.
Do you want to get insights from?
There you go, mute that. Now, obviously, normally you wouldn't want to have multiple people taking a test, so it depends whether it is a test which is serious or something that's just for fun. So here now we can see that it's paused at that point in the video, and now it's got those questions. So I can say, which of these is not a term in Teams? So let's say channel, and the color options are green, high contrast, and blue. There we go. Hit submit. I can show the results. There we go. It's showing me that I didn't do too well there. And then I can continue to video and it will show me the rest of the video there. So hopefully this has shown you just how powerful Microsoft Forms is, and has hopefully given you some ideas on how you could use that within your organization. There's lots and lots of different ways you can do that, whether you're surveying your customers, whether you're surveying your employees, and those branching options and the section options make it really nice a way to be able to break it down into sections so that it's a lot more manageable for people. And then being able to add them into videos in Stream is great there. And I've also got a video that shows you how you can use Microsoft Forms to run polls in your Microsoft Teams meetings. So make sure that you check that out. That'll be at the end of the video. So hopefully you found this useful. Remember that I do tips on Tuesdays, which are published on LinkedIn and on YouTube. And on Fridays, I do a Lunch and Learn Live, which is at 12:30 p.m. GMT. So make sure you come and join that live on the YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/productivity coach. So head over there right now and like and subscribe. And otherwise, I'll see you again on another video. Thanks for watching.